So in my last video talking about a recommendation for reflectors, I actually talked about why you need reflectors to point up. I mentioned it and I said I'd mention it later in the video, but I never did. So I wanted to talk about reflectors and why you need to have them pointed up in order to have them be effective. So like I said, I'm in Texas. I don't have my studio with me right now. I don't have all my equipment. So I just kind of found this, what looks like a leaf bag sitting on our barbecue over there. So that's the only thing I could really find that has a flat surface that symbolizes what I'm trying to go with. So the reason why we have to have reflectors pointed up is that we have our light source, whether it be a flash or the sun or whatever it is, and it's up at that 45-degree angle, that 2 position, or maybe directly behind you, the photographer. You need the reflector pointed up, and the reason why is that light that's coming in will come in, bounce off here, and then shoot that back up. And that's the point of the reflector, is to reflect the light. Whereas if we put the reflector here, well, the sun comes in or the light comes in and just keeps going. You can't really, it's not like going to go in like this and then, all of a sudden kind of bounce off that and come back at you and reflect in. It doesn't work that way. So anytime you work the reflectors, you always want to make sure they're at a lower than your subject or what you're trying to reflect light on and add light to, and point it up. So basically when I'm the assistant or have my assistant, I have them kind of moving the reflector light like this and trying to position it on the subject until they see the light hit that subject's face or the point of interest that I'm trying to light with the reflector. So basically you take whether gold, white, silver, whatever, you kind of angle it and you keep positioning until you see that light reflect where you want it to reflect. And it's usually pretty substantial and you'll notice it right away. And what's amazing, it's actually a very subtle difference to the human eye, but a massive difference to the camera. So reflectors are very, very important. So just make sure to always point the reflectors up and kind of move them around, because if you do this and try to use the reflector that way, it won't work. Now, there is one exception to the rule. If you're using a translucent reflector, like the 72-inch I talked about, that big tall one, that's when you're not reflecting light anymore and you're diffusing light. So if I have my sun over here, I would basically put that right in front of the sun and then it would soften the light coming through. We're no longer reflecting, we're diffusing. So those are the differences. Hope this video is helpful for you to understanding what I was talking about in my last video, or it is helpful to you in regards of using a reflector. So thank you, and until next time, I'll see you then.